What's up, everybody? Welcome to We're Offended, You're Offended. I'm Kim. This is Tyler. And it is Monday. So hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And I'll move this over because for whatever reason, you can't see Tyler very well. So we're going to, there we go.
How much? Is there a lot of background noise going on right now?
It's not too bad. No.
Well, I don't.
No, I don't hear anything.
Tough shit. Oh, now I get to sweat my ass off. All right, let's fire this thing off. So we're gonna talk about Sesame Street. Oh, Sesame Street. So we'll touch on Sesame Street and the woke garbage a lot of these institutions are becoming. Super woke, and we'll talk about how terrible that place is. And I did want to touch on, so last week, if you don't know who Turning Point USA is, they're like a conservative group. And The View. Oh, The View. This is no.
That's a really good time for that to
Love
freeze
that
up
you're
here.
Oh,
That's awesome.
I like that you froze. What, you're still frozen? You were like, "Arr."
You froze in a funny spot too. But anyway, so you were talking about The View. What about The View?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so The View is just like North America's like asshole. Like they just stink. Like they have some of the worst takes in the world. So I did want to talk about The View and them accusing how even in their apologies, they still just can't help themselves. They just can't help themselves. So we'll touch on that. And for a new segment, all right? I would like to people's opinion. I want to hear what are your thoughts on this new segment as it is titled Rebranded. I think it's quite self-explanatory. It's how we suddenly just change things. And now they're supposed to mean the new thing, even though they've always meant the old thing, unless you really need it to mean the old thing. So we're going to talk about that and how Canada, Patty Hydew, felt it okay to use medical masks. I don't want to bury it. It had something to do with PPE and if you can kind of grasp the concept. So before we get into that and everything else, you know what? Hit that intro. They don't produce anything. They don't do anything.
And we're back, and you froze like it looked like you were like head banging mode.
I was head banging. This is terrible today. All right, so let's get into the Sesame Street. So Sesame Street was always seen as it was supposed to, it showed, you know what, did you know that I believe it was actually Sesame Street was the first television show to actually have multiracial kids. Like different nationalities.
Oh, snap. I muted myself. No, I did not know that in the slightest. That is definitely news to me.
They've always been, Sesame Street has always been quite progressive. But what the, what? Okay. So there was always the rumor of Bert and Ernie are secretly, lovers. But, but. Now they're talking to kids about sexual preferences. Like your
Wait.
pronoun.
Sesame Street is?
You hold on. Where the fuck? Hold on. This me street. Pronouns. Marty says pronouns, a discussion, pronoun case, help teaching. Elmo curiously avoids pronouns in reference to himself, instead referring to himself in the third of I want this. Sesame Street staff writers, blah, blah, blah. The hell did it go now? Well, anyways. Sesame Street has always been, kind of they've been, they've had like gay people on, they've had, a lot of, like Jack Black, or they had like Katy Perry, or like, like they had like famous people come on, and they were always kind of talking about these, kind of cultural issues, and in a kid friendly way. But they're getting really weird. So this was a video that was released. It was about a month ago. So let's just check out this video from that they had posted regarding COVID-19 vaccines.
You were super duper today, getting your COVID vaccine, Elmo.
Yeah, there was a little pinch, but it was okay. Elmo was really glad to have Daddy and Baby David there with him.
Oh,
Baby
boy.
David, where are you?
What about
I have
Elmo?
a lot of questions about Elmo
What
getting
about
the
your
COVID
dad's
vaccine. Was it safe?
other dad?
Was it the right decision?
Have you considered
I
that?
talked to our pediatrician
Why does
so
Elmo
I could
not
make
have
the
a
right
gay
choice.
father?
I learned that Elmo
Why
getting
are you
vaccinated
leaving
is
that
the
out?
best
I don't
ways to keep
understand.
himself, our
I don't
friends,
get why
neighbors,
you
and
would.
everyone else
Why would you leave out
healthy
that
and enjoying
opportunity?
the things they love.
To push all the stuff in here. Like, you
Who
remember when
knows?
like Big Bird did this? Big Bird, wow, I got the COVID vaccine.
No, I didn't
And
know
again-
any about any of that because I stopped watching Sesame Street. Just saying.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, some of us just never, But so, we don't need to labor this whole point. But again, with the information that has come out, you see lockstep what doctors are now saying. Like, it is verbatim the exact same words. And the bigger issue is always, who are you serving with this? That's my question. Are you actually trying to help children? Well, because statistically about 1 in 5,000 of them, as long as they're healthy, are going to develop a heart condition. And this is Sesame Street. This is Sesame Street now telling you, hey, like Goebbels, the head propaganda chief in Nazi Germany, entire of all programming, would have cummed in his own mouth with how happy he was. He wouldn't. He would just be. He wouldn't be able to stop those little Nazi sperms from Hail Hitler coming out.
Jeez.
He couldn't help himself.
I mean, I don't know. I was kind of.
It's odd that they.
Go ahead.
No, what? Oh, I was just gonna say that I found it funny that of course they turned the comments off.
Of course, they turn the comments off. They're always going to turn the comments off. They know. See what I find.
Although.
Oh, go ahead. Although.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll just. This is the last thing that I'm saying. Although it is interesting that they have nearly 200,000 views and 953 likes. 200,000 views. 950. That is disproportionately low. And of course, YouTube, you can't look at the dislike ratio. I'm sure it's in the thousands. I'm sure it's like 0.1% like to dislike ratio.
Well, I think it would have to be
99.9.
when you look at the amount of the likes compared to the amount of people who've actually viewed it. That doesn't really surprise me, or it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Like that's a very small number of likes compared to how many people have viewed this, and I would be one of the dislikes. Just saying.
Yeah. Oh.
What
Yeah.
I find funny, Sesame Street wise, is well, not even just Sesame Street wise. I think like just general people wise. Do you remember like back in the day when we were kids and we would actually watch Sesame Street, you know, when it wasn't weird, that, you know, you had Bert and Ernie. And at one point in time, you know, Bert and Ernie, they shared a bed together. It was no big deal. Like the kids didn't really question it. I remember for me, like it was like no big deal, right? Because I would share beds with my friends all the time. Like who cares? And then all of a sudden it became
each other off.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez. I mean, then all of a sudden it became where, oh God, Bert and Ernie can't share a bed together. They're gay. It's like, what? Why? Like, why is this a thing? Like, why are you literally making Bert and Ernie not be in the same bed together? Like, why is this so important? And they literally went to that extreme to now literally it's okay to bring kids to drag shows or put money in strippers' G-strings. And they're pushing all this like, you know, changing your sex and literally talk about sex in schools to young children. Where did we go wrong here? There's a huge
which is what I kind of brought up on the outset, like with regards to them talking about like their like pronouns and all this stuff, and they're okay. There's a big problem here. There's a huge problem.
Is there?
When we are actively telling people we are trying to normalize. Okay, it's not that there are drag people. I don't care. You know what? To put it quite frankly, I don't give a rat's ass about you. I don't care. I don't care what you do. I don't care about your life. I don't care what you want to do in this role. I don't care. Stop thinking that I think that you're important. Just as I would assume that most people that don't know me or don't like me would assume the same thing. I don't care about you.
Well, and they're not going to also care about who you're having sex with. Like, when is that an important thing?
I'm sorry. I have too much going on. And I think most people are too busy, and our government and a lot of people in society have made it almost a goal. You keep, just like with North Korea, you keep them hungry so that is their day-to-day struggle. They can't think big thoughts. They can't think about a revolution. They can't think of anything else because they are driven just by hunger. That's just so I truly don't care enough about you, but that is how they are looking at people to look at them. They say, well, if you don't accept me for who I am, then you are blah. No, I just don't care. I don't care if you want to dress up as a lion. I don't care. I don't care if you're drag. I don't care. I can't emphasize this enough. I have no interest in what you do. When I start to have the concern is when you say, I'm drag and I need to go talk to children. I need to expose them to this because a drag show, we've talked about this many times. If I whipped my clothes off in front of children, I would be going to prison. But if it's done under the guise of equality and acceptance and tolerance, well, we've actually been quite accepting and quite tolerant. And we've to what avail? To exposing children to men or women? In any other, if you can think in any other situation, that would be a crime, but because it's under the name of the Rainbow Society, that it is somehow okay. There is a huge, huge disconnect here.
Yeah, I agree. What I think is it's kind of, for me, like I agree on the same aspect where I couldn't care less. Like if someone wants to identify as this or identify as that, fine, identify as that. But why, at what point did we all start saying this is normal. And not only the normalcy, but forcing other people to play in the psychosis of it, I guess. Like literally, okay, well, because you want to play make believe or you feel a certain way. And again, I'm not talking about people who are gay, people who really truly do suffer from
No.
gender dysmorphia, all those things. No, I'm talking about the wood elf down the street or the freaking toaster in the back.
my God.
Like, so
Remember that? Hold on. Oh, sorry.
what?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just thinking, could you imagine that deer, that chick, that trans chick that said that they were a deer? Would it be against the law if you shot and killed them?
Hunting season.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We start getting into these really weird situations now where,
Yeah.
well, if I am supposed to identify them as they are a deer, they are, for all in their mind, they are an animal. You see people, there was a thing that I seen on Blair White where a guy was dressed up as a lion. Like, he had the lion, like, goatee thing. You know how, like, lions, like, they're around their mouth, it's lighter, and then they kinda have that shaggy goatee? But it was like that,
Okay.
and he had, like eyes painted like a tiger, and had, like, not like a perm, but, like, wavy hair around, almost to look like the Cowardly Lion. And he painted his nose to look like a cat's nose. So if I went and shot him, am I shooting a person or am I shooting an animal, since they supposedly identify as that?
Huh. See? Now this is where the psychosis starts to play. What kind of psychosis are we playing here? Like what game are we playing? Like yeah, it literally makes no sense. You accidentally hit one with your car. Well, is that hitting wildlife or is it hitting a person? Like
Exactly. What
because if
about
you hit
fucking, like,
wildlife and
maritime law?
keep driving, well, that's not a hit and run. But if you hit a person, that's a hit and run. If you keep driving, of
Yeah.
course. I don't know.
Like, there is the rule of, like, in the courts, like, almost like the laugh test. Like, if you brought this up, well, a couple years ago, if someone said, I identify as a deer. I feel my whole life I've always been a deer. Yeah, you know what? I used to play D&D, and I was a wizard. I can't cast spells. No matter how hard I fucking try. Only magic power that I have is that I can make my dick hard with my mind. That's about the only superpower I got. And even that stops working. Just kidding.
You know what? And the thing is, like, I can understand that. Okay, when you're playing something like D&D, let's just say, you get really into your character, right? Like you're playing a role, just like acting, just like you have some actors and actresses who get very into their role and they've had some roles that have really kind of messed them up or some that they've gone through bad depressions after because they're no longer there. It feels like you're actually losing someone. Like there's that type of, so I can understand that. You know what I mean? Like you get attached, but to literally say I'm a deer. I mean,
Yeah.
at
Like,
what point do we have to keep playing this game and keep like, okay, well, we got to protect their feelings. So I'm not allowed to be like, oh, okay, this is weird. Like, it's not like I'm going to be mean to the person or be hateful or something, but let's just call a spade a spade. This is fucking weird. It's not normal.
Okay, well, here, okay, so this is a great example, and maybe we'll move on after this. We do have. I want to get to that rebranded. I'm so fucking happy with it. I love how it turned out. It's so funny. Oh, I love it. But well, I was having a discussion with someone, and so they were talking about transgenderism, and so I had made the retort, "Well, I'm trans. I identify as a I can't remember what it was, but I just okay, well, I'm a girl now. I'm a girl." And they said, "No, you aren't. You don't believe that." How are you able to speak on my behalf? That's a very interesting position to be where, well, I know you don't believe that. How do you know? How do you know what I think, and how do I know what you think? So, like, it's and it becomes it is a point of contention because, well, if just because I don't believe in transgenderism. I do believe that there are people that have a medical chemical imbalance in their brains where they feel that they are born in a different body. I have no problem with that. In fact, I have a lot of sympathy for people that have that struggle. I can understand it. I can't emulate it. I can't reproduce those feelings, but I could only imagine the struggle that every single day you are something else. Not I'm on the internet and my emoji, my character, my avatar is now something else. And now I am now it's okay. It's like, okay, playing a video game, playing D&D, you say, I'm a wood elf in D&D. And now you are donning that persona because the person that you are is shallow, is useless. For all intents and purposes, you aren't doing anything, so you need to. Sorry, I'm getting loaded right now. Ugh. So if you see me like suddenly like lurch forward, um,
I'm getting
but
loaded
it's now
too. Woo.
they're now donning a different persona, completely devoid of what they are on the internet, and it's now entering into reality. So that just by that alone, that would be considered when fantasy now starts into reality. That's normally called what, like psychotic, where you cannot tell the difference between fantasy and reality.
Yeah, it's something not right in your brain, and most people would be getting their loved ones or telling their friends or whatever that they should be seeking medical attention for their safety, for
Yeah.
like for their own good. Like, this isn't normal. So that's just what I'm saying. Like, I'm not entirely sure exactly when or where things fell off the deep end and all of a sudden we were in the upside down. Like, I don't understand. I can't. And I there are people out there who do need help, and by literally just parading around mental illnesses and like, and I'm being serious, people. Like, there are people out there
And
who,
not giving them actual help.
yeah, there are people out there who are now literally faking mental disorders on TikTok, on Twitter, stuff like that, to get attention.
Being disabled.
Uh,
Being disabled.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
What?
what?
Can
Like,
you imagine?
in no situation,
Yeah.
in any other place, would you go, hey, you know what? My legs are working great. Get rid of it. I would felt that I was born disabled. And
Right.
God damn it, I'm abled. What?
Can you imagine,
Oh.
honestly, like being around somebody who is actually who has a mental disorder like schizophrenia or gender dysphoria, or they really do have a physical disability that enables them, like Ricky, anything like that. And having somebody that looks like us or like a regular person who doesn't have anything going on to be like, I feel like I'm unable, like a whatever, I'm a disabled person. They'd be like, what the fuck, girl? You got legs, like get up and walk. Why are you wheeling around in a wheelchair pretending to be disabled? Like,
Yeah.
who in their right mind? I can't even imagine, honestly, the mental distress and how this is affecting people who actually do suffer from these things, watching people just parading it around
Well,
like it's no big deal and it's a joke.
Okay, so this would be like, at the height of the Me Too wave. When it first started. You know what? Yeah, it's like they latch on, or with the George Floyd thing, and the Berkeley, and well, just think of all those stories, Jacob Blake. You think of these stories, and they latch onto them, and they go, because of if this one incident happens, that mean it happens everywhere, all the time, every day. And I was looking at crime stats for, like Chicago. They had something like 1,100 deaths. I think it was like in 2009 or maybe it was 2022. You know how many were by cops? It was like 11. But it's the cops that are the problem.
Yeah.
But so the reason I'm bringing this up is you have you have very niche areas, very small, obvious, real problems, but they expand like with the rape thing at the height of it. Well, yeah, you know what? Men do rape women. Yep, absolutely they do. And then they go, "Well, I was raped by a man. And okay, now the accusations are just being thrown out and people are weaponizing social media where just by the accusation, your career is over. You could well, and you were already they were judge, jury, and executioner. They removed your job. Just the accusation, not even, yeah, you know what? I have faced my accusers and I was found guilty or not guilty. It was by mob decree, by social pressure. So you started having more, well, you know, catcalling. Well, they raped me, but that's not definite. Just because someone makes you uncomfortable is not rape. Well, you're looking at me. That's
Okay.
rape. I had consensual sex with someone and I regretted it the next day. That was rape. Oh, okay, but it was only for men. If a man was drunk and raped and had sex with someone, well, he couldn't say that she raped him. But there were some places now that started coming. But you've seen that the definition of the word started getting tainted. It lost meaning and it actually hurt people that were actually, you know, yeah, there are sometimes cops shoot people and you do terrible things to people. Absolutely. But then you just say, "No, this happens all the time. This happens." A cop pulled me over and gave me a speeding ticket. Well, that's because of racism. That's because of slavery 100 or 200 years ago. What? Because you were doing 70 and a 50? Huh?
That's so
What?
bad. Yeah.
All right, but it diminishes. It diminishes people that actually need help, and those are the
Yeah.
people I absolutely have sympathy for those people. People that just kind of make it up to be important. I'm sorry, I don't. I really don't. But all right, so let's move on. Oh God, let's move on to my fat attacked me. All right, so with the
How? For
view,
one. And
I
two,
don't know. I don't know.
before we move on,
Oh, okay.
speaking of things being attacked, I think everybody out there should attack a certain little button.
Oh, hit that subscribe button.
Feed me all night long.
Yes, feed it, babies. Feed it.
Yeah.
Who remembers
okay,
that movie?
so,
That movie was fantastic, by the way. Sorry, I totally cut you off there. That was a great movie.
So also just a reminder. Of course, we today is a little different. But we typically are on Monday to Thursday, 8 o'clock on Rumble. We're here. We're queer. And anything we do talk about, if we can references, it will be in the description. So I don't take our word for it. Don't take my word for it. I'm an idiot talking into a microphone, looking at a camera. Okay, look at the information yourself. Verify it. So let's move into the view. Oh,
Oh my God. Oh, I wish you could see the way your face just froze right now. It's like in a forever eye roll. It's beautiful.
I'm about to kick you in the balls. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's get into the view. Okay. So the view. This happened last week. So Turning Points USA had like a rally. Let's just whatever, a convention in Florida. It was like I believe it was a 2-day event, and people came out to protest. They protested them. Okay. So let's let's just I put this this little clip here, or this article here. So they had protesters come outside, or protesters that were outside, and they were, they had swastikas, and they're talking, that stuff. Okay, alt-right type stuff. So Joy Behar, oh joy, joy. So she says neo-Nazis were out there in front of the conference with an anti-Semitic slurs and the Nazi swastika, and a picture of a so-called Jewish person with exaggerated features, just like Goebbels did, and Hitler during the Third Reich, said Behar.
Oh, jeez.
It's the same thing, right out of the same playbook. Okay. And Florida governor, they said, and DeSantis did not say anything about it. It's his rendition of good people on both sides. Again, they can't help themselves with their just blind hatred and uninformed opinion. So, for anyone that doesn't know, Donald Trump, the big lie was that he said that there were neo-Nazis and there were like Black Panthers that were at this protest. And the lie was that he said that there were very fine, that the neo-Nazis were very fine people.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
not what he said.
I could totally envision that.
Was pushed. Yeah. Even though he said there are very fine people, and those KKK, those alt-right people, they should be condemned. And I can't remember what he had said, but I denounced them entirely. Okay, so that's what he said. But yeah, the fine people on both sides. So why treat a headache for an upset stomach? Because that's what's going to happen if they get rid of Trump and put him in. It's the same thing. Ana Navarro urged a list of Republican politicians, including, blah, blah, blah. It's important that every single person that attended that turning point, every Republican, speak up against the swastikas, against the Nazi flags that were waved. It was really painful for me to see, she said. This is Ana Navarro. Noting there are vibrant, numerous Jewish communities in Florida. Speak up, because whenever you see bigotry of this level, you can't let it go. You can't pretend you didn't see it. You've got to condemn it, regardless of party, regardless of politics. It's the right thing to do. Okay. So that's the story that they told, that neo-Nazis were inside. They were in the group. And Ron DeSantis and Turning Points USA somehow supported them. Somehow. Because you dumb idiot. Yeah. You're so dumb, you're a dumb idiot. You couldn't even understand that the people outside protesting were protesting Turning Points USA.
Oh God.
All right, but let's play some of these clips. So after those statements were made. All right, so we'll play this the first clip. Yeah, with
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Hell no. No.
Okay, or not.
No.
Let's play this first one from Turning Points USA. So this is after. So they went to a commercial break, and this is what they had to say after.
Okay, so you have to read this thing.
Oh, I've got a legal note. The conservative group.
Sunny normally does this, but
I know.
Yes.
This is our knockoff lawyer.
Okay.
The conservative group, Turning Point USA, has condemned the group of neo-Nazis and said they have nothing to do with the organization.
Yeah, but where was DeSantis is what I want to know.
But you let them in.
President opened
You let them in and you knew what they were. So you are complicit.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Where's DeSantis?
Oh, okay. So
If you actually pulled your head out of your butt for 1 second, you would know that DeSantis was there the day before. But I know you're too dumb to actually look. Just push the story. Push the narrative that these are neo-Nazis. Okay. Okay. Oh. Oh, what was that, Whoopi? Even though you, like, what did Whoopi say? You knew who they were and you let them in.
Yeah.
You are complicit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Don't talk about the fact that their security actually tried to have them removed, but because they're on public property, they are more than welcome to protest.
Unlike some places.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go to the next one because Whoopi she had to get that comment in. She couldn't just shut up. And their legal department's going, "Oh my God, shut the fuck up, shut up, shut up. We just sent you a notice to stop because we can get sued for this." So, all right, so play this next one.
To make a quick clarification about the neo-Nazis at the Turning Point event. They were outside protesters. My point was more metaphorical, that you embraced them at your thing, I felt. So they were not in the building.
They
No,
felt
but you know what?
invited.
You know what? If the so-called Antifa, who are anti-fascist, that's what Antifa stands for, would go there and protest, then Antifa would get a bad reputation. That's why when I hear that Antifa is the
Right, but
Right,
that's not.
pause
But
after
let me just
Joy.
make sure.
Joy, okay, I'm sorry. Do you think before you open your mouth?
Probably not. Have you heard her speak?
Like Whoopi says, it was metaphorical.
No, it
What you
wasn't.
literally said that they welcomed them in, even though their security tried to have them removed.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that daggone First Amendment that you guys have, the right to peacefully protest in public. You know, the full freedom of speech thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then Joy. Well, they're Antifa. That means anti-fascist.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Oh, Joy. But I thought that was just it was an idea. There's no actual thing as Antifa. But all right, okay, all right, just continue.
That everybody, because misunderstanding what people say is very big.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So we want to make sure I know they were not
Very big.
in the building, but they were.
Misunderstandings are
in the
very
mix
big,
of
and I don't want misunderstandings. Yeah, just like the very fine people statement, just like you just said. You just said that they welcomed them in.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. You know what? Finish this last little bit and
people at the thing.
You know how bad.
Make a quick.
That last second is done now.
okay, but they weren't in the building, but they were, if I like, does that cover my legal obligation that I'm not incriminating? What do you mean they were mingling?
I don't know.
What? Whoopi, what the what? That makes no sense. You just said, let me clarify. But they were, they were mingling. It's like she can't help herself. They can't help themselves. Even though Turning Point USA, a conservative group, said full out, yeah, absolutely. No, they were actually there protesting us. Because we had Dave Rubin. We have prominent Jewish speakers coming to these events. And you just couldn't help yourself because because Ron DeSantis was there, that big bad evil DeSantis. she couldn't let the new information. So this is a big difference between, I would say, with the left and the right. Trust me, there's more because they couldn't help themselves. They could not help themselves. They just had to keep going. So typically with, let's say, with the right, whatever that now means. You are able to, okay, you have your original information, and then you can add new information to it and slot it in so it makes sense. Like, man, it's sure hot here today. Man, no, that's a terrible. No, hold on. Let me walk that back. Okay, vaping is totally safe. Or let's say people that say vaping is dangerous, it's going to kill you. It gives you popcorn lung. Okay, if that's a belief that yes, absolutely, it can. But then if you add in the information, well, that was actually because of disotal, which is the same stuff that they put in popcorn. Yes, it coats
flavoring
your
agent.
lungs, so that's actually been banned. And then if I gave you that information, you can go, oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, what about vapes blowing up? Well, those are mechanical mods. Those are mechanical mods that people, because there are safeties built into these. If you don't know, there are safety that this thing can't run for a long time. And most of the time it's because people use batteries that the casing has been ripped off or is broken. And then when those two, the negative and positive touch, well, obviously the thing's going to spark.
Yeah.
So someone with a critical thought could go, okay, that makes sense. I can slot that information into my original thought and expand on it. They are just going, well, because I don't like this person, I have to keep not like this person. They can't go, oh, okay, I didn't know that. That changes the story quite a bit, but they have to push the narrative. So let's continue one more time. They just couldn't help it. Oh shit! Whoops! What? Wrong one. Ah. So this one's from the post millennial.
Is it? It's the same one.
I know. No, get rid of that one.
Okay, so I'm going to the one with the girl in the yellow shirt. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, okay.
So on Monday, we talked about the fact that there were openly neo-Nazi demonstrators outside the Florida Student Action Summit of the Turning Point USA group. We want to make clear that these demonstrators were gathered outside the event and that they were not invited or endorsed by Turning Point USA. A Turning Point USA spokesman said the group, quote, 100% condemns those ideologies, and said Turning Point USA security tried to remove the neo-Nazis from the area but could not because they were on public property. Also, Turning Point USA wanted us to clarify that this was a Turning Point USA summit and not a Republican Party event. So we apologize for anything we said that may have been unclear on these points. So on
unclear.
Okay.
Oh, 100% it was unclear. Somebody decided just to word vomit and it was all the wrong information.
Like, is that not okay? All right, so that was another apology that they had to make. All right, you want to hear another one from Whoopie directly?
Oh Jesus.
Okay. So again, they can't let it go. They can't get the wrong information. So you know what? Just play this 30-second clip because they finally said, you know what? Yeah, we screwed up. You can hear the legal department coming through her mouth. Okay. All right, play the last one, the my bad sue the view. Yeah.
Welcome back. In Monday's conversation about Turning Point USA, I put the young people at the conference in the same category as the protesters outside. And I don't like it when people make assumptions about me, and it's not any better when I make assumptions about other people, which I did. So my bad. I'm sorry.
My bad.
Okay. So the U.S. State Department is.
So.
My bad.
Yeah. I don't want people to get. You can see just the absolute contempt that they have. And that was what I really wanted to bring up. They can't accept what really happened because Ron DeSantis because Republican. Republican means bad. That's the whole. They can't accept what actually happened, that they were out there protesting the event. Those neo-Nazis were protesting the event. They weren't fucking tentacle hentai.
Ugh.
They tried to get them removed, but okay.
I don't know. To me, it's just like, it literally looks like when I see something like that, I think of cameras went off. Everyone freaked out. Everyone was probably freaking out at Whoopie for blabbing her mouth and saying what she was saying. And now she's like, okay, yeah, I got in trouble. So I gave the wrong information. I don't like getting in trouble. So my bad. Like, it's, I don't know.
Well,
it didn't seem very sincere, but whatever. Just let it go.
So let's check out this neo-Nazi group that supposedly, according to The View, originally was in the mix. They welcomed them in. No, the crazy thing is I would actually invite a discussion with, say, a neo-Nazi, because my views are diametrically opposed to them. Have a conversation. I would love to have a debate, or maybe not necessarily a debate, a conversation with someone that has an absolutely opposite worldview in a respectful
100%.
and a constructive manner. So let's
Yeah.
check out the Nazis that were there.
That is a big crowd. Huge.
They're gonna take over that whole place. Oh my God.
I know, right? There, I think I could count as many people on my fingers and toes.
That's insane.
So many people. I guess like 3 flags and everybody's like up in arms. Like, oh my God, there was an entire like mob.
10 of them. And you know what? People are making the comparison that are these glowies? I don't think so, but I would not be
Glowies?
surprised. Feds,
Oh.
they
I wouldn't be
government
surprised either.
agents. But so I just wanted to make the point that you can once you see, when you get the actual story, the actual information, they could not accept it. They had to go, well, what about Matt Gaetz and Ron and DeSantis? Where were they? What do you mean? They weren't even there. Like the day that this was going on, they weren't even there. Well,
They
but they
sleeping?
let them in. No, they tried to have them removed, but they were on public property. Well, but they had them in the. Okay, sure. But so look at the Bulwark. Look at this little article from them. This shows you the inability to actually give information, to actually give proper information, like both sides of the story. I've seen Charlie Kirk talk. I'm not a big fan of him, but whatever. All right, so this is from the Bulwark, and they just say, so Turning Point USA's pep rally in Tampa for far right, or for right-wing college kids from across the country. Neo-Nazis gathered outside the convention center in support of the organization. Oh, is that it? In support of the organization, in support of Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and most importantly, to spread hate. Who was
So much hate.
Dave Rubin? Yeah, I know Dave Rubin is a hateful man. So hate. Like, I think when he goes to bed, when he wakes up, the first thing he goes is hate. He's like some goth, like Swedish death metal band. Just hate.
100%.
Need the end of the. No.
You can just see him like go on the
And most
ground with his like little satanic thing, just praying to Satan. I need to hate. I need all the hate.
A gay Christian conservative. Yep. Yep. All right. So some images showed members of Natsock, Florida, as in National Socialism. Okay. So this is, and I just pulled this up just to make the point of, you can see just how out of touch when you actually, like, did that not paint, this would paint it in a very different light if you did not have the actual information. If you just tuned into The View and all those stay-at-home suburban housewives are just sitting there watching that, they're going, "Oh my God, these Republicans, they love neo-Nazis." Like, well, no, they left out like 50% of the story. Seemed like the other half. You only told one half of the story. You didn't tell the other. But it's just, you see the inability for them to actually, they were out there supporting. Why would you not support inside the event? Why would they be forced out if they were supported?
I don't know. I mean, the way that it made it sound, like just talking about it, it made it sound like there were so many people there. Like, I'm talking like this massive crowd of psycho Nazis. And I mean, to be honest, one is too many, but relax.
But like, it's like what, 10 of them? 10 of them. Oh, and they're yeah, that the whole Turning Points USA. Yeah, absolutely. They're neo-Nazis. I'm pretty sure they do work with Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire, who's a quite devout Jew. He's been called a Nazi.
Which
like,
is
what the fuck?
funny.
Do you not see this little hat on my head?
Yeah.
I eat kosher. He actually observes like the Sabbath, and he's you've bastardized language so bad that if you don't agree with me, you're what I want you to be.
Yeah.
Not what you are.
It's like, not only are we living in a society where you can pick and choose what you want to be, but you also get to pick and choose what other people get to be. That's so nice.
Yeah. And if I say, okay, you know what? I'm a transgender woman. No, you're not, because you don't believe in it. How do you know? Why don't I just have a change of heart? All right. But so, I'm excited. All right. Okay. So, so let's move on. Let's move on to this next segment. Sorry, I'm excited for it. I'm so fucking excited for it.
Can you see the nips getting hard? I can see the nips getting hard. It's creeping me out a little bit.
No, don't look. Okay, so in today's installment of Rebranded, you know what? Just hit it. Hit the stinger, baby. Rebranded. Rebranded.
I love it.
Branded. Okay, so in our first installment of Rebranded, so this came from Rebel News. Patty Hajdu. Hajdu? Hajdu. I believe it's Hajdu. I can never say her last name right. But so for those that don't know, she is our public health agency minister, public health minister. I don't know how the proper way to say it. Whatever. So during COVID, we were getting our medical supplies, masks and gloves and all that, all that crap from China. Well, you know what? So internal notes taken contemporaneously by public health agency staff about a July 3rd, 2020 call details numerous issues raised by relating to Minister Hajdu's dealings with Chinese supplies of PPE, personal protective equipment. At one point, public health, which operates under Health Canada, was importing so much Chinese manufactured PPE that they were now warehousing challenges. This is where the rebranding comes in. Okay, rebranded. Some of the Chinese-made masks were imported with inserts written in simplified Chinese and placed there by manufacturers which read, not for medical use. Okay? But the health minister approved the addition of English labeling confirming quality before shipping them to their final destinations. So including the relabeling were 10,000 boxes of N95 masks that were said not to be used in a medical setting. And she goes, it's fine. Just chuck it out there.
Oh my God.
You know what? Let's throw another rebranded. How there is now a recession, and now suddenly a recession doesn't mean what it meant. How crazy is that?
What does that mean now?
What did they call it? They're not in a recession because it's not the technical name, even though it was the technical name. Because a recession is two consecutive quarters of negative growth, also known as a contraction in the market, aka a recession. That's been the technical meaning for a recession. 2 negative quarters. So, let's say January, February, March, April, May, June. 2 consecutive quarters back to back with negative growth, with the market contracting. And they're going, oh, no, that's not what inflation, or that's not what a recession means now. But that's what you've called it for past 50, 60 years.
Prove it.
Yeah, well,
prove it. You're not going to find it in Google anymore. Nope. Prove it.
But is that not insane? They were marked not for medical use. Not for medical use. And our government just says, just ship it anyways. Just relabel it. Relabel it.
That is so
incredible.
sketch.
Fantastic job, Government of Canada. And people want to they want you to give them more power. And you're supposed to trust them. They're supposed to, act with integrity. I don't know. Have you seen Fidel Castro's son here? Have you seen how he acts?
Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no. Indeed.
But it's all right. So with that, I would love to hear people's opinions. How is how is it looking? Do I actually sound good? Am I not cutting out? Because I wanted to kill myself. Not really. I'm not that bad. But I hated the fact that there were these issues, and we're only going to improve from there. So with that, if you have nothing else to say, let's get out of here.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to sit with us and listen to some of the craziness going on in the world today. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Have a fantastic day. We'll catch you again tomorrow, and we out.